hiccups or bad decisions couples make pretty early on that you see, like, hey, they get married, or maybe even it starts before they get married.
Sure.
And where you're like, oh, if couples, they do this, and then it just kind of, the ball gets rolling.
Well, I think first off, we have a saying that most people don't plan to fail; they fail to plan. And so what's interesting is a couple will spend a year to plan a wedding, which is one day. And then they won't sit down and take time to plan out the rest of their life.
Wow.
And so just having the plan, taking the time to put together a plan, where do you want to go, where do you want to be, and what do you stand for, and then check up on it annually, just see how you're doing, We didn't do that, and I know most families that we sit down and yeah, exactly.
We didn't do that.
Exactly.
That's so true. They're just thinking of kind of like the now or the wedding. And not necessarily going past like, oh, what's our plan? Where do we want to be in 20, 30 years financially?
Exactly.
Or where do we even want to be living? And if we want to be living on the beach, then how are we going to get to that point?
Right. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's very good.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
Which I think kind of actually is telling with like the financial state of couples in America today. I mean, it is really, really concerning. I mean, everyone's in debt.
Yep.
And there's no plan.
Not everyone. We're not.
Well,
I mean, but maybe you could tell us, what are you seeing? I mean, the trends that people are experiencing financially.
Right.
Well, I think right now, number one is student loan debt. Student loan debt surpassed.
And we won't go over this amount for outside birthdays. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, I don't know if you're like this, but you're like, you see this great thing and maybe it's double what you should spend.
Totally.
And it's like, oh, I told him I wouldn't spend this much. So we kind of have an agreement.
You actually have an agreement then, like if you spend over this amount of money.
We talk about it. Right.
Not just birthdays, but just even any expenses. Like it's over, $100, $200, whatever you set.
That's right.
Like we're going to talk about that.
That's right.
When we were in our 20s, our dollar amount was $50. Like if we each, other than the regular bills, groceries, gas, things like that, right? And then, when we got into our 30s with kids and things like that, obviously I feel like it goes up with, as expenses go up, right?
That's right.
Our son is giant for his age. Always constantly needing new shoes, new pants, everything, right? And I can't call him every time and go, these shoes, But it's interesting how we used to fight about working on your marriage does not have to be boring.
If you want to build confidence in your life and have fun working on your marriage, become a member to Marriage 365.
Get access to all of our videos, our marriage checkup, and all of our online courses.